What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what shorts did, and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. As soon as the market opened, it did look as though that SoFi was going to break out. It did attempt twice throughout the day, but regrettably, it did get dragged down with the broader market. GDP, PCE coming out over the next couple of days, initial jobless claims. So a lot of that is taking a toll and plus adding a whole different level of fear. And I did state that in my pre-market video that the second half of today, you're going to see some sell-offs, more specifically, I guess, in SoFi and in NEO's case. And lo and behold, that did happen. But when it comes to today, 771 the low, 788 the high. So both of those make sense based on the technicals, which I'll go over near the tail end of the video, but kind of low volume. So 25.8 million shares being traded, 41.8 is the average. And that is kind of mimicked based off of this. So these are all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. A couple big ones. So after hours, 6.93 million. So that's obviously why it is up slightly, but throughout the actual trading day, majority of the transactions were sells. So institutions are still selling SoFi for whatever reason, but again, the overall volume here kind of matches with just lower volume in total for SoFi. You did have some housing data that came out first thing. Wasn't really anything to move the broader market or anything like that. But it did cause this to go up slightly. So right now there is a 62.3% likelihood of a 50 basis point cut. So again, that's going to be a big factor for the next several weeks. And that should probably change in the next couple of days, again, with those data points, key ones coming out. SoFi did put out some news this morning, and that was this. So 𝗪𝗓𝗧 launches secured credit with dynamic funding, empowering banks and fintechs to simplify credit building for consumers. So in reality, I think this is good, very much focused on what SoFi wants to do, bigger picture. So yeah, I think generally that is good. So they'll be targeting a little bit lower quality customers all in all, but still 𝗪𝗓𝗧 does have a lot of kind of mitigating risk points throughout their business to kind of really protect it and SoFi and other customers. So I think that this is a good thing, similar to what I've mentioned in the past. Is this a good reason to buy SoFi or sell? Not really. It's just more of a good FYI, and it kind of goes to show and commits SoFi being a fintech, not just a bank, because over the last couple articles or PRs, I guess, that have come out, it is linked to 𝗪𝗓𝗧. So clearly, SoFi is learning. Still, we do have 1 week left roughly in Q3. So that is where you'll see a little bit of a lockup based on entities being able to buy. So insiders buying, I mean. So it'd be really good and kick-ass sentiment-wise if Anthony does buy this week. But can't ask for him because he's done a hell of a lot of buying in the past, but still, if he was going to buy, he does have roughly less than a week left. Aside from that, shorts did increase a very substantial 8,000 shares today. So yeah, they broke the trend. It's been a good week and a bit that they've been returning every single day. So they did decide to break it by 8,000 shares, but 17.32% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 181.12 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is 0.75, and just generally this is what I was talking about, how they have been returning quite a lot ever since September the 16th. That's where it peaked at 19.56%. So kind of crazy stuff when it comes down to that. So hopefully they do continue to keep returning some shares leading into SoFi's unannounced upcoming earnings in probably a month. So yeah, that'd be pretty kick-ass to go into SoFi's Q3 earnings with a short interest roughly around 14%. But still, let me know your thoughts on that. Looking at options, kind of low dollar value in comparison to, for instance, yesterday, but 3.57 million in calls, 1.16 million in puts. Sentiment wise, 46% of all the options being done today were bearish. 46% bearish. My apologies on that. But of the call options that were purchased, you do see consensus for it to be roughly around that $8.50 to $8 range for the foreseeable future. And then puts for it to be sub 750. So kind of evenly divided where it is now. This is the current open interest because we do know that this is what influences the market and SoFi every Friday. So as it stands, 9,000 at that 750, 31,000 at the 8, and 29,000 at that 850. So yeah, I see SoFi hopefully staying above that 750. That 750 is not a strong wall, but 8 is starting to be built up. So I think SoFi, if it does have a secondary run to around that $8 range, it might struggle a little bit. But as of right now, with it at $7.73, it is right above this S1. So 772 is a strong support. Kind of bounced off of that momentarily, but yeah, that's going to be a key one to watch for in the next couple trading days, and dependent on the data that is coming out tomorrow, so GDP and initial jobless claims, that could be that kind of point to either push it to closer to the pivot or that $8 range, or break it once again to this S2 and have that retouched, which was, I believe, yesterday, or might have been the day before. Can't remember. It's all blending together now. But $7.51. Aside from that, 807 is going to be the next strong resistance / target as of right now. So as what I've been stating, some people don't like me saying it, but technicals are starting to break down. Some people are just saying it's consolidation, but in the past, especially every time it does pull back such as this, yes, it is some level of consolidation, but usually in the past, a lot of these similar signals that I'm looking at all are duplicated. So you do see a lot of selling coming from institutions, and that has been the same occurrence that's been happening with SoFi for the last several trading days, for pretty much the last 4 days for the most part. So a lot of that is very similar to kind of this scenario, and if I remember correctly, this scenario right here. So yeah, in reality, nothing wrong with consolidation as long as it does stay above this point, so the kind of the low sevens. But still, I don't think anyone wants it to really trend back down there, and that would be retesting close to that 50-day moving average. So kind of just watch for a lot of that. Again, depending on the data, that might be that X factor to really push it into the lower percentile. And yesterday, or sorry, on 2 days ago, or 24th, I'm blending all the days together, that's where it did touch that 200-day moving average. So going into tomorrow, definitely watch for that as well. So as of right now on stochastic, you do see it at 69, so arguably still considered overbought, but you do see a bearish deviation, so red line above the white, and number of retail investors have been buying. So if you are part of that group, give yourself a shout out in the comments. If you have been buying, selling, holding, do you feel that SoFi is going to continue to trend down? What's your thoughts on GDP? As well as initial jobless claims? I'll give you guys a quick overview already of that. So this is kind of the estimates right now. So on a quarter over quarter, 3%. So yeah, we'll kind of just have to wait and see how that turns out. Forecast right now for initial jobless claims is 224 as well. So yeah, anything is possible. Hopefully those data points do come in better than anticipated and cause a nice level of buying when it comes to SoFi. My apologies, I guess my face was there throughout this whole time. So hopefully that causes a nice level of buying for SoFi, even though good data might diminish this right here. So 50 basis points might be kind of off the table momentarily, but I think having a nice reversal with the broader market might be a little bit more advantageous. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with all that, appreciate all of you watching.